This week, as we are continuing on the communication theme, our quote is just a beautiful quote from George Bernard Shaw, of all people. And he said, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it's taken place." The illusion that it's taken place. And leaders make this mistake all the time. And I'm going to talk you through a particular example where I have seen leaders think that they have finished their communication when actually they've hardly even started. Let's explore that. One consistent area where I have seen leaders be under the illusion that communication is taking place is in leading change. So I've recently been teaching a subject that I have not taught for a long time, which is leading people through change. And I've really been privileged to work with a global team and taking them through this particular teaching. And I want to relate some of the learnings and some of the aspects of this. But the number one principle that it is built on is this idea that announcing the change means that the change is going to happen. And this is this illusion that communication has taken place. The reality is that a top-down change, very, very seldom. The statistics are there appalling. The success rate is, like in the teens. It's that low. And the reality is that properly led change is a completely different story. So we want to get away from this illusion that we have led change when we've announced change. And what we want to do, even if we don't want necessarily for everybody to be involved in deciding what the change is, how the change is implemented, and what people's concerns are, is critical. So we want to create a kind of a change structure where, yes, we can start with an announcement, but we're under no illusion that that means the change is happening. What we do need to know is, what are the concerns that people have? How is it going to affect them personally? What information do they need about the change? What about the involvement in the implementation? Because the reality is that the awareness of the implications of a change is much higher for each individual job, for each individual manager, for each individual person who's going to be working with these things on a day-to-day basis than it is with the overall leaders of the organization. And so one of the ways that we can make sure that that communication has in fact taken place in change leadership is by listening to the needs and concerns of our people. The second way is by building a team so that there is a lot of peer influence. So teams of people who are who are positive towards the change, but that are at all levels, and so that they can influence and they can gather information. And so team would be a second way that we can increase the communication, that it's not just coming from one person, but in fact is coming from multiple sources. And then thirdly, that there is an involvement in the design of the implementation. So we want to listen to our people, we want to build a change team, and we want to get their inputs in the design of how we're going to implement. And we're actually doing this exact thing in Totally Morpheus at the moment with the change, where we're involving everybody. We've listened to the concerns, we're involving everybody. We've gone through some of the tough things, and we're learning, but we're learning together. This is not, and I was never under any illusion that by announcing this particular change, it was going to work. In reality, it's still in the balance, because we've got to be doing the listening, the teaming, and the co-design for it to work. So, leading change, one example of where we should never be under the illusion that announcing the change is implementing the change. We could be under the illusion that we've communicated, and we haven't.
At Totally Morpheus, we offer leadership and team development through conscious self-leadership. Right now, we are empowering impactful not-for-profit organizations to develop their leadership and teams. This helps them to build capacity so that they can make an even bigger impact. Discover how you can help to make it happen. Connect with us at connect@totallymorpheus.com or at Totally Morpheus on your favorite social media platform. You can make the difference.
If you like this video, why not hit subscribe? That way you can regularly get conscious leadership updates in your YouTube feed.